Hey, everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Punch It podcast with Sid and Jameel. Today, we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 41. The show just wrapped up and it's fresh on our minds. We're excited, we're a little angry about certain things, but we wanted to just talk about the show and get our thoughts out right away while they're still fresh. If you haven't watched our first episode yet, check it out on our YouTube and hopefully on streaming platforms very, very soon, where we kind of talked about our predictions, about what we thought would happen, what we wanted to happen. And today we'll actually talk about what really happened, kind of compare it to what we thought, maybe give our thoughts about if we predicted correctly and if what we wanted to happen actually happened or if what really happened was better.
Hell yeah,
So,
dude.
hell yeah, dude. So, first off, let me just get your overall, big picture overview on WrestleMania 41. This was your first WrestleMania as a real fan. Did it live up to your expectations? Did you love the spectacle of WrestleMania?
Yeah, good question, Jamil. I I enjoyed it. I think we'll get into this more later, but I'm finding it a little predictable, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's because we've gotten so good at understanding what the dynamics are over the past few months. I will say I did find it a little predictable. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny at some
Mm-hmm.
points. Um, but yeah, we'll get more into it. And yeah, how do you feel?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it started off kind of slow-ish,
Mm-hmm.
but the build as, we started from Saturday, first couple of matches were a little underwhelming. They built up to be better towards the end. We had that really great main event that we'll talk more about later on. And then Sunday, I felt like it was pretty good throughout. I was really excited. It felt a lot more like WrestleMania and kind of what I wanted. But we'll talk about each individual match. Some of the boring ones we may go over a little bit more quickly and
Sure.
save some more time for the really exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to talk to you about this. Saturday, we actually watched it separately. And then Sunday today, we watched it together. So I kind of wanted to get more of your thoughts about some of the Saturday stuff. We talked about it a little bit off air,
Yeah.
but we should talk a little bit more about what we saw on Saturday. And then Sunday with some of that really exciting stuff and the payoffs, some of these long storylines that we've been really invested in over the last few months.
Yeah. Yeah, a little behind the scenes. I went to visit my family this weekend and I watched Saturday's WrestleMania with my family, who does not watch wrestling at all. And they were pretty excited.
Yeah, I want to hear a little bit more about that.
Sure, sure,
What
sure.
their some of the reactions were to some of this stuff.
Yeah. So, and I drove home today to watch the rest of WrestleMania Sunday with Jamil, and it is now 11:30. So you're getting our freshest takes.
Oh, this is hot off the grill.
Yeah.
The smoke hasn't even cleared yet.
Yeah.
I watched yesterday with our producer, TJ. She
How
did
did she
not
feel about it?
care at all.
No. Yeah. Well, it's not her job too. She's more behind the scenes, so
All right.
that's why we're the
Well,
talent.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, let's get into it. I think I have the matches mostly in order here. I'm just going off of WWE's website.
Cool.
So, Saturday,
Mhm.
opening match, we get Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Yep.
Pretty cool match. I think starting off with the World Heavyweight Championship match is, in theory, a good choice. I think they wanted to just get things off and get everybody live right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought so too. Just something to get people going because it was a big title match, right?
For sure. I think, having it in Las Vegas, it started at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
local time in Las Vegas, so it was still bright outside,
Yeah.
which, I remember from when I went to WrestleMania 31, which was in California. It also started really early. I don't know if it was 4 or 5, but it's a little distracting to have it in an open football arena during the daytime
Mm.
because I like the ambiance of it being in an outdoor arena. It makes it feel cool. The football stadiums have a ton of people, so it looks like a big event. But having it be daylight outside is kind of a little distracting. I think that it's a little bit of a letdown that the winner of the Royal Rumble doesn't main event WrestleMania, because that's what they say the prize is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say, or I don't know if they said it this year. I think they did, but
Who was the winner of Royal Rumble?
it was Yeet.
Yeet won Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
And typically the winner of Royal Rumble is the main event for
yeah.
WrestleMania.
The prize, as they say, I don't know if they say this anymore, but at least at one point they said the prize of Royal Rumble is main eventing WrestleMania.
Oh,
They don't even really say it's competing for a championship.
right.
It's just you main event WrestleMania, and it's implied that that like the big title, the championship match, will be the main event.
And that didn't happen.
And that didn't happen. It was literally the first match. But the first match is also, I think, maybe internally, so, like an honor too. Like you either want to be first or last.
Do you think they just like messed that up, or they just decided because it was Uso that it wasn't gonna be the main event?
I don't think they forgot about it.
Yeah.
I think that
obviously it was intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that Roman Reigns is kind of a belt himself. He's sort of a championship himself. I think he'll always main event. I've never seen him not main event.
Okay.
Except the tribal, whatever. I forget what the name of the match was, but on Raw. That wasn't the main event that night. But CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and also, we'll talk about this later, but the ending, that ending and that kind of big moment needs to be the main event. You can't have anything else after that.
Okay.
And I think that they also understand the match capabilities of Jey Uso.
Okay.
Too, and they don't want him to maybe follow something as epic as that triple threat.
Right.
But I think that this was a decent match for what it was. It wasn't that technically great. It didn't have that many exciting spots or moments, but I think the right thing happened. I think they had the right winner. I think Jey Uso should have won this championship, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for what it means for people that work for a long time and that they are, just people love them.
Yeah.
You see the way the crowd reacts to him.
Yeah, it was sweet when Jimmy came out and the brothers went back. I think it looked like he really got hurt. The whole after every match, I was like, ouch. Like, and maybe because they're not talking, like I can't tell if they're okay, because there's no talking really at WrestleMania. It just seems like everybody's like too hurt to say anything.
Yeah.
And they're not going to anyway, but yeah, we were like, is he hurt? Is he really hurt? But honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know why Gunther like tapped out. Like, it seemed pretty easy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it did seem a little too easy. It didn't seem like it was as high stakes of a match as the build-up made it feel.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really great job, especially like we said with that segment with Jimmy where he just really brutally beat him down. I thought Jay would have to do a lot more to take him down. I thought, they would have to have some bigger, more brutal spots, maybe putting somebody through a table, hitting somebody with something. I don't know. It just seemed a little bit.
They stayed all in the ring. Yeah.
They stayed in the ring the whole match, and Gunther tapped out after 2 seconds in that sleeper hold.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think I like that Jay is the champion now, and I want to see where they kind of go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also would like to see Gunther get involved in some other storylines.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens tomorrow.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about the next match, which was New Day versus War Raiders.
Yeah.
Or maybe let's not talk about this match because it was sort of a lot of nothing to me. You liked it?
I want to talk about it. Yeah, I think it was interesting. I think I never had really seen the War Raiders like this before because I think I usually fall asleep or I'm doing something else. Yeah, I thought this was entertaining. I think it was funny. I think So I was also introducing this to my family. I mean, they saw this match, and I think this introduced like the humor of wrestling,
Mhm.
the humor of New Day, and them being like these bad guys, but also like scrappy and cheating and all that stuff. And it's entertaining and funny, you know?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can
you
s-
didn't see that at all. You didn't think they were.
Well, I think because I'm just so used to like the silliness and the campiness
Yeah.
of wrestling that I didn't really think about if somebody's watching this for the first time, having that silliness, having that silly kind of break and a lot of this, the callbacks to what happens on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And wrestling is good because WrestleMania and PLEs are so different from Raw and SmackDown because they just go match to match to match.
What were those words you said?
Like PLE, which is what they call the pay-per-views,
Okay.
because like you were saying just a couple seconds ago, like it's just match to match to match,
Yeah.
and there's no real talking, so
Yeah.
you don't get as much
Of the
really as the
humor.
character and the character playing and the world building and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that is a good point. I think that a little bit of the humor, campiness, silliness is welcome into a show like this.
Yeah. But that's all I have to say. That's just.
You like that? Did you like that the New Day won?
I mean, yeah, it added to the funniness of it all. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I still feel like it should have been the SmackDown Tag Team Championships up for grabs here, but they still have time on SmackDown to play more with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next match: Jade versus Naomi. First women's match of the night.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that it got that third spot instead of you don't want it to just be a throwaway. I thought they took their time with it.
Yeah.
And they gave the match some of the respect that it deserved for kind of a feud like this. What did you think of Jade's entrance with like that little segment at the beginning with like the fake weather report?
Yeah, that's a real weatherman on the Weather Channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember his name right now. No, I think that was cool because I thought that was a regular thing because I always call Jade Storm because they even put like a storm like body like on the on the video, her video entrance, and made it look like she was like landing, like Storm would land.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think you were imagining that. I think I think she was going for that
she usually
look.
does. No, yeah, I know I wasn't imagining it, but I had never. I don't remember if she had ever really done that before, like really leaned into being Storm.
Yeah, maybe they were saving it for Mania to have like this cool entrance.
Yeah, but I loved it. Yeah, it's great.
Did you like Naomi's? I don't know if this is gonna be her new song, but I don't know. I kind of miss Glow. I like that entrance, but I guess it doesn't fit for like a nasty heel. Like she's supposed to be really angry and mad. So.
Yeah, I don't really remember her entrance this time, and I'm thinking about it.
She just kind of like entered to this like heavy metal song. I did like her super fan, the representation of that super fan in the corner in the Naomi tank top.
Yes,
I thought that was cool. I can't remember.
Who is he? Yeah.
Yeah, who is that? Who is that guy?
Fan? Yeah.
He just loves Naomi. Today, he was wearing just a regular white tank top.
Yeah.
So he's like, Naomi or nobody.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah, if Naomi is not here, I represent no one.
Yeah.
Although he did do the too sweet. No, not the too sweet. I don't know what I'm saying. He did do the Cero Miedo with Penta when Penta walked away.
Yeah.
So I think he loves wrestling, but honestly, I do love the appreciation of one particular like mid-card wrestler. That's always funny to me when somebody doesn't love the top guys. They love like somebody like not as popular, somebody lower on the card.
I would like a Naomi shirt too.
Yeah, we'll see if they sell that Naomi tank top. We'll get you one of those. Okay. Anyways, I'm fine with Jade winning that match.
Yeah.
I think they both look strong. It's not like Naomi looked weak losing.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, next. Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. This one got the crowd a little live. Like this is when I felt like the crowd started picking up and getting more excited.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any particular spots that I remembered too distinctly in this match. I thought it was a good match. It was well paced. They really, I think, took on that. Okay, let's get the crowd involved. Let's do some exciting stuff. But there was nothing particular that was really special about this match. I'm excited for Fatu. The crowd clearly loves him. They were chanting for him, even though he's supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where they kind of go with it. What's next for LA Knight? Is he going to go into the main event scene or
Yeah. I don't know. Wait, sorry, who won?
Fatu one?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, this fight was a little forgettable for me. Maybe because
Mm-hmm.
I was eating during it. Maybe I got up because I was sitting. I was sat
Hmm.
for the up until this point, and
Yeah.
this is when I needed like, okay, I've been watching wrestling for like an hour and a half at this point. I should get
Yeah.
up. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know LA Knight very well. I don't know why I
Mm-hmm.
don't. Maybe because I hadn't seen very much of him. I don't know why I think that I haven't. But I don't know him very well, and I'm not sure if they like look him and Jacob Fatu look like a good match to like fight each other because
Mm-hmm.
like Jacob Fatu is like a really big guy
Mm-hmm.
and LA Knight is like the typical like American ripped white
Yeah.
dude, you know? And I don't know, I hadn't seen a lot of that matchup. Um so I don't know. I didn't really pay too much attention. Yeah, I don't know a lot where he's headed. I would like to see him fight someone like Sheamus
Hmm.
or who was the other guy you suggested the other day?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Well, the people that I thought were missing on the
Yeah.
card were like Sheamus and Sami
Yeah,
Zayn.
Sami Zayn. I would
Mm.
like to see him fight Sami Zayn, and I would like to see him in American Made or fight somebody in American
That would be
Made.
good. Yeah.
I just feel like he's giving like that, or even Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I think he should be paired up with somebody who could talk a lot back with him.
Yeah,
Like he just had his feud
okay,
with Nakamura, who
right. Which
doesn't
I
really
did
speak
again.
English very
Another
well.
one that I didn't see how that matchup was made. You know,
Yeah.
but anyway,
And Jacob Fatu is good on the mic, but his strength isn't in long
yeah,
promos. Like he kind of just was kind of crazy,
yeah,
into the camera for a couple of seconds. And
yeah,
that's fun, but it's LNI needs to be paired with somebody who can have these long promo battles with him.
sure,
We'll see what happens.
yeah.
Okay. El Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix.
Yes. So let's get one thing out of the way.
Mm.
What happened to Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, when we recorded this on Wednesday, the preview show, I mean, on Wednesday, we thought that Rey Mysterio would be
Yeah.
El Grande Americano's opponent.
Yeah.
On SmackDown on Friday, one day before this match, they had a 6-man tag. So at a certain point, Rey Mysterio kind of goes down. I believe he hurt his ankle, and he can't finish the match.
Mm.
So
Do you see that at SmackDown? I'm
yeah,
realizing now I did not watch SmackDown this week.
yeah, I think having 3 days in a row of spent on 3 hours,
Could be 4
and then
days.
8 hours of WrestleMania, and then
Yeah.
another 3 hour Raw right after. I mean, I don't know. I think I was fine. I skipped it too. I could have watched it and I didn't. I was actually editing the first video, so I didn't watch it. But yeah, so you see him get injured, and then the next day they're like, he's not in the match. We're gonna go with Ray Phoenix instead,
Okay.
which is fine. I thought it was a good match. I thought El Grande Americano, again, the entrance was cool. I liked how they made
Yeah.
it gold. It was like an old school, like Mexican, like luchador kind of
Yeah.
entrance.
Which was funny for him.
And the music too. I love El Grande Americano's music. And Ray Phoenix is cool. I like Ray Phoenix, but
Yep.
maybe we need more time with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought it was cool they gave him the spot at WrestleMania, even though he hasn't been around for long. Clearly, he's good enough.
Yeah.
He's a great wrestler. I think his brother is a little bit more exciting, but maybe just because we've had him for a little bit longer.
Who was his brother?
Penta.
Oh, okay. I had no idea.
Mm.
And I liked who was their friend that they had in the audience that came and like checked on him after. I think it was another wrestler.
Oh yeah, so WWE acquired like a luchador company. So that guy came in. I guess that's like a way of introducing.
Yeah.
And then they had like the owners of that company. Do you remember when they showed them?
I saw like the lady and I was like, is she playing a character? Is this who she really is?
She looked I don't know, like regal to say the least. She looked like she was playing. She had like sunglasses on.
Yeah.
She was really playing a character. Our producer is trying to eat an inanimate object. She gets roastless.
Okay.
Okay. Next match.
Yeah.
Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
Okay, you take the lead on this one. This was a match that you were looking forward to. You love Tiffany.
Yeah.
You have strong feelings about Charlotte.
I don't know if I have strong feelings about Charlotte. I'm just really rooting for Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
She's my go-to girl.
Tell me about the entrance.
Yes.
Tell us about the entrance as a Barbie girl.
Okay, Barbie. Yeah, I loved that. As a Barbie girl. Yeah, I did enjoy her Barbie box entrance. That was pretty cool.
Well, did your family like that one? I feel like your sisters may have.
I don't think they know that this isn't something that happens
It's not like a
in
normal
every
thing.
episode.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I mean, I think they could tell through my excitement that
Mm-hmm.
that it was like special. So that was it was cool. I liked it. And then when Charlotte came out, my dad was rooting for her. My dad was rooting for Charlotte hardcore the entire time.
You like Charlotte? What did you like about her?
I don't know. He was just rooting for her, I think, as like a Nepo baby. Like he likes Ric Flair. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of people like that about Charlotte.
Yeah.
I think the negative reaction that you're kind of seeing now, I mean, I missed a long time from wrestling, so I don't really know if this is like a new thing where everybody's kind of turning on her.
Mm.
I still think she has her fans.
Yeah.
I think I saw something where she's like great with fans. Like a lot of people like to meet her, and she's always like really nice to fans and has good fan interactions.
That's nice.
Yeah, you like to see like people being nice and appreciating the fan love, because we're fans too. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know if I'd want to meet any wrestlers, but if I did, I would appreciate if they were nice. So
yeah, no, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Just like a quick, if you can hear me as I escort our producer out of the way. I think that's one thing that I'm realizing too with WWE is that I think more than any sport, it is a bipartisan sport. It it is for people from across the political spectrum to enjoy.
Yeah, people from all over the world.
Yeah, you see people from all over the world going through all different kinds of political situations, enjoying WWE wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is true. I think that... Did you see a specific instance of that or something? Well, I don't know. I think that I've been on like the, forums like Reddit and stuff, and people that are attending WrestleMania, like people are attending from all over the world. They're like, this is my first time going to WrestleMania. It's my first time in America.
Yeah.
But like people are like, I'll go to America for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is really cool. I forgot how we got here into this conversation.
Yeah, sorry. We're talking about Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte is a bipartisan wrestler.
No, not necessarily. I mean, maybe. That's not what I'm saying. But anyway, yes, Charlotte had a great entrance also.
What was her entrance? I kind of forgot.
She came up in a Rolls Royce.
Oh, yeah, she came up in the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
They didn't show her walking out of it, though.
Oh, interesting.
I don't
really know. I remember that either.
I remember she was... So the Rolls Royce drove in, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, didn't LA Knight come in a car too? But he wasn't driving it.
Yeah, he came in, I think, in a Maserati.
Yeah, he was in a Maserati. That's right.
He wasn't driving.
He wasn't driving.
But he did come out of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw him come out of it.
It would have been cooler if he was driving. I think Charlotte, like, she's a queen. Being, like sitting in the back of a Rolls Royce makes more sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got on a tangent.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so both entrances, pretty good. I think Tiffany won the entrance. This was a really brutal fight. I did not expect that. I mean, I knew because I was setting it up for my family. I was saying, this is the match where I really believe that they hate each other. And I could be wrong in that, obviously, but I believe, and I want to believe maybe, that Tiffany and Charlotte actually hate each other and have real beef, and this is going to be a intense match because of it. And it was. I think I will say Charlotte did a majority of the beating for a
Yeah.
long time. Also, their outfits were both incredible. Like
Both wearing
pink, yeah, pink and silver and pink and blue.
Hmm.
And Charlotte's bedazzled knee brace. Pretty funny.
That was cool. You pointed that out. We were texting during the match, and you were like, I feel like this knee brace would like hurt.
Yeah, it did. I could. Well, she was like really like pounding down on it on Tiffany.
Yeah, I
using
think
the knee brace, and then one time Tiffany like kicked her in the knee brace, and I saw Charlotte's like knee like go in a different direction.
Oh man.
Yeah, but anyway, and yeah, it was really intense. I would be very surprised if neither of them had an injury, but it looks like they do have an injury when you see Tiffany smiling after.
Yeah, interesting. Like it really looked like her teeth got chipped or something, or she was missing a
Yeah.
tooth. But then she posted a follow-up photo afterwards.
And she's good?
Yeah, she was good. Like she was smiling. She was like, my teeth did not get knocked out.
Oh, a lot of people were telling her like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, so she posted.
Maybe it
a
was
photo.
just bloody from her lip. Like her,
Yeah, I think she got cut on her lip.
Yeah.
She does have like a welt on her forehead though, which I think was from that spot where she like lands, she face plants face down. She doesn't like brace her fall.
Yeah.
And she just like falls face first into the mat.
Well, there was another instance where it looked like they both hit heads, and that's when I thought I first saw the welt.
It could have been from that too.
So, and I don't know if these are accidents. I mean, right? They shouldn't be trying to hit
They're
heads.
not. Yeah, they would never intentionally get a face or head injury.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I would think
Mhm.
if I was one of the like women wrestlers, I wouldn't want like a big cut on my face.
Right.
And I don't think WWE wants that either.
No. Yeah. So, but yeah, so intense. A very good fight, I will say.
You're happy with the
Congratulations,
finish?
Tiffany. I'm very interested to see what's to happen next, though. Did we say Tiffany's going to win?
I believe we both predict. Well, I think we both said that Tiffany would win. I think you said if any heel would win, then it would probably be Charlotte.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm interested in see what's happening next in Charlotte's career.
Yeah, I want to see what Charlotte does next. I think Charlotte may be more of like a, not maybe necessarily a full-time schedule.
Yeah.
Pop up, have big feuds. She is a big name. She could still wrestle. There's a lot being made of her being old, but she's not even 40 yet.
Really?
Yeah, she's under 40.
Oh.
So I still think she could wrestle for, another 5-6 years.
Yeah.
If she wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, first championship retention of the night.
Oh, yeah.
The first 3 championship matches, there was a new champion for all of them.
Wow.
So happy that Tiffany retained. She just got it. She should keep it for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Last match of WrestleMania Saturday was the main event. Seth versus Roman versus CM Punk. This was a great match.
Yes, this was a great match.
This
might have been, I will say, the best match of the entire WrestleMania.
This was the best match of WrestleMania, I think, pretty clearly. I think that starting from the beginning, from the entrances, 3 cool entrances. Seth with a flamethrower. I thought, what did you think?
I don't know if I saw that.
He came out with like a flamethrower. He was like shooting the flame, like a real flamethrower all over the place.
Oh crap! No, I didn't see that. But I did see his like transition from like his dark like cape, like leather cape situation.
Black cape, then he took it off and he had white. Tights.
Yeah. And then the lighting changed too, or like
it went blackout, and I was like, "What happened? Is my thing lagging?"
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, okay," because he was changing. I guess that I think it's because he was sort of a tweener, which is halfway between a face, halfway between a heel.
Tweener?
Yeah, they call it a tweener when you're like neither face nor a heel. Kind of like Randy Orton is a tweener.
Cute. Okay.
Seth has been a tweener, but I think with the ending, that's not necessarily true anymore.
Okay.
But Roman with all the like his bloodline, like his all his family members kind of going behind him.
Yeah.
I still think he walks too slow.
Yes.
But he does have a sick entrance music, so I don't mind hearing it.
Yes.
And on SmackDown, when he comes out, they always cut to commercial while he's entering. So I like hearing his uninterrupted song.
Yeah.
First entrance without Paul Heyman in a very long time.
Okay.
Because Paul Heyman entered with CM Punk.
Yep.
This, not gonna lie, kind of happy I watched this part by myself and you weren't here to see me because it would have been embarrassing because I got kind of almost emotional during this entrance.
Why?
Well, with that video package they showed for CM Punk showing like his history in WWE, remembering CM Punk with the long hair, and they played his old entrance music during the video package too, before he started using Cult of Personality, to cutting to the live performance of Cult of Personality with Living Color performing the song, and then walking out with Paul Heyman, and he came out with his hoodie on, which he used to always come out with this hoodie on when he was doing his Best in the World run, which Paul Heyman was his manager for this Best in the World run. And he was wearing his yellow trunks and boots, which is what he wore during the Pipe Bomb, which is when CM Punk really first transitioned from being like an upper mid-carder who was just loved by the fans to when he aired out his real grievances and shit talked Vince McMahon live on air. And that turned him, it became like a revolution. He became like the fan favorite that you see now. And that's when he got the push to finally being the champion and beating John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. So all those throwback things all coming into one with the video, the live performance of the song, Paul Heyman walking out with him to his entrance attire. It was just like, dang. It was kind of like remembering, a long history of this character.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's beautiful about wrestling and what we talked about with this is a never-ending show. I'm seeing I'm remembering 15 years pretty much of this character.
Yeah.
Longer than that. I mean, he debuted in 2007, 2008. Remembering this long history of this character. And it was great to see.
Yeah.
I love CM Punk. He's my favorite wrestler.
Right.
But anyways.
Yeah, I enjoyed the live music. I didn't even notice that. I didn't know all that stuff, but yeah, this is why we're doing this, so you can tell me the lore behind
for sure
all of this great history in this for these characters and for these matches. Yeah, I enjoyed all the entrances. What happens? What is the first thing that happens that's notable in this fight?
I think that. Well, first of all, the match had an immediate aura to it, right? Didn't it really feel like, okay, I'm watching WrestleMania? I wonder if it felt like that for you, but it felt like the air changed. We weren't in the room, but watching it on TV, it felt like the atmosphere changed when these three guys came out.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of locked in okay, I'm watching WrestleMania now. I don't know if it felt that way to you. I know that you understand that these are, three top characters.
Yeah.
And they're going against each other, so this is pretty meaningful, but it immediately felt like a big deal.
Yeah, I think they set that stage by really coming in really slowly, and a little bit of teasing happening, when CM Punk leaves the ring and consults with
he's he's taunting
Heyman.
Roman.
Yeah, that I think that's how they did that. That's in my opinion. I think that's what you're talking about is this is the only match where you could hear what they're saying. I don't know if they're not mic'd, but there's a mic somewhere in the area of which they're talking to kind of get an idea of something that they're talking about. So yeah, I get that a little bit. I think I was not expecting it to go out of ring, out of the into the audience as much as it did.
Right at the beginning, they were just hitting each other hard.
Yeah.
All three of them were fighting. It wasn't like they were taking turns. All three of them attacking each other. Not for three older guys. Obviously, CM Punk being the oldest, I think he's 46 or 47, and Roman having his his health history, being almost 40 years old, and Seth having as much time as both of them in the in the ring and history in the ring too. I thought these guys, really up their game. Like they rose to the level of, we're in a WrestleMania main event. Let's make it a damn WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
They really went at each other hard.
Yeah.
I thought they did more than they had to, honestly, hitting each other with tons of finishers, a ton of near falls. The match felt extremely well planned out
Yeah.
and choreographed.
Yeah.
With all the different spots that they did, where like one would hit a finisher and then go right into another finisher, be broken up right away, or be broken up in an interesting way.
Yeah.
They were not winging it at all.
Yeah.
Or if they were, they're
Really
obviously
good.
true greats.
Yeah.
Like this is there's a reason that these three guys are in the main event.
Yeah.
And it showed. They blew everybody out of the water.
Sure. Yeah. I did appreciate that. I did feel because it was surprise after surprise after surprise.
Yeah, it was just like, like when somebody like Irish whips somebody into the ropes, they come back, they hit a close, whatever. I mean, like those are just like instincts that wrestlers have.
Yeah.
But this didn't feel instinctual. This felt like really creative and choreographed well.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the history, really quickly, between Seth and Roman, right? They used to be like on a team, right?
Yeah, they were on the Shield, which was a trio with one more guy that's currently in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
But they were a huge trio that they debuted as CM Punk's like muscle in a feud that he had with this other retired wrestler named Ryback. So they debuted like with CM Punk, and the story is that
like all the same year or like together.
Yeah, so they came as a trio and they came all in together.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they were like
with CM Punk.
No, they didn't. So they came as their own group, but
Yeah.
they were like associated with CM Punk.
I see. Okay.
And the story apparently I heard somewhere, I think it was CM Punk talking about it, but the story was that CM Punk saw like how kind of great and how much potential those guys had. So he pitched the idea of being associated with him right away in their debut so that they could be in the main event picture right away. Because, the way that NXT works now is that they're there for so long. They come up, maybe they have an interesting feud, maybe they don't. But people can get lost in the shuffle if they don't give them something interesting to do. So CM Punk saw how good they were, and he wanted them to right away be in that kind of main event picture and for people to see them that way.
Okay. So, yeah. So, okay. I was just wondering why does Seth hate CM Punk so much?
Seth hates CM Punk because CM Punk left wrestling. Like he quit at a time when things got really tough.
Yeah.
Like storylines were kind of dipping. Vince McMahon was putting together stupid storylines and stuff. And CM Punk quit. And Seth is, a company guy. He loves wrestling. He never took any time off. So he kind of just sees him as somebody that he was his coworker and he left when things got tough.
Yeah. And does Roman Reigns hate Seth?
Roman Reigns hates Seth because of the history of when they were still a trio and they were really dominant. They were feuding with, I forget what they called them. I don't know if they were still called Evolution at this time, or the Authority, but it was like Triple H's stable with Randy Orton, and they were feuding against them. The Shield versus this stable with Triple H and Randy Orton, and then Seth sold out and betrayed Roman Reigns and them. So he's still mad from 11 years ago when this happened.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like give context to like some of the lore, behind the scenes, what these people's background together is. Okay. Well, back to the match. I guess let's get into the ultimate betrayal.
Sure. So the match is going back and forth. It's really great. Finisher after finisher, cool spot after cool spot. Roman puts both of them through a table.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really cool. Everybody looks so strong. Nobody can be paid. Everybody's kicking out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, they're each getting like 2-3 finishers and still kicking out of them.
Yeah.
We're like, how is this going to end?
Yeah.
And then there's a spot where all 3 of them are knocked out.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman decides it's time to get involved.
Yeah.
He grabs a chair and he's looking at CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And it's like, who's he going to choose?
Yeah.
Is he going with his best friend who has cashed in a favor that he owes him to be at his side for this match? Or does he go with his tribal chief, the guy who's been at his side for 5 years?
Yeah, he's been the manager of the tribal chief for the past 5 years.
Yeah. So who does he pick? They're both looking at him. They're both saying, give me the chair.
Yeah.
And he picks CM Punk.
Yeah.
He slides CM Punk the chair. Roman Reigns is absolutely shocked and betrayed.
Yeah.
You see on his face how hurt he is by this.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Heyman gets to the ring, helps up CM Punk, and right when CM Punk lifts up the chair to hit Roman Reigns, low blow.
Yeah.
Roman is shocked but elated by this.
Yes. Why does it feel so weird to see Roman Reigns like acting like that? Like, oh, so thank you.
He's so happy. He shows all 300 of his teeth.
Yeah. I think I'm just scared of his teeth at this point.
His teeth, I mean, they're veneers.
Yes,
they're
obviously.
so white. They're so big, but it looks like there's so many of them.
Yeah, or there's only one.
Yeah, it's either 1 or 300 teeth in there. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Anyways, super handsome guy. Super good looking guy. I don't think he needed those.
Obviously.
But anyways, he's super excited. And Paul Heyman gets on our knees, says, here you go, my tribal chief.
Yeah.
Roman grabs it.
Was this the point where Paul Heyman was saying, like, look what you made me do?
Yeah, he's yelling at CM Punk, like, you made me do this.
Yeah.
I think he means, like, you know that I served my tribal chief, but you're putting me in this horrible position.
Yeah.
And, I mean, let's be real. CM Punk is kind of using him.
Yeah.
He was like, he just wants to get into Roman Reigns' head.
Sure. He
didn't need Paul Heyman by his side. I mean, what is Paul Heyman really doing?
Yeah.
He just wanted to piss off Roman Reigns.
I guess so.
So we'll see what Paul Heyman says for himself.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what he meant. Like,
yeah.
Like, you were using me. I have my loyalties elsewhere. We're friends, but I have to go with Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, Roman starts going crazy on CM Punk. He hit him, 5-6 times with his chair.
Yeah.
While he was lying on the floor. And then Paul Heyman redirects his attention to Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Like, get him, finish this match. Let's get out of here. You'll win.
Yeah.
Roman stumbles over. He's so weak from this long, grueling match they've had.
Yeah.
Stumbles over to Seth. Seth's back's turned. He's about to hit him with a chair. And then Paul Heyman double crosses Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And hits him with the low blow.
Jeez.
This, I think, we saw the reaction to John Cena's heel turn, but it feels like this is almost an equal moment to this in terms of shock value. The reaction in the arena, so loud and crazy.
Yeah.
Me and Tej were screaming in here. How did your watch party react to this? We
were all really, really surprised. I mean, this is what fans. This is how you make fans.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it. I didn't know what to think. I was kept surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was on my toes. I didn't know what to expect in that whole situation.
We went over this as a possibility.
Yeah.
When we did our preview.
Yeah.
Link to the last episode.
No, yeah, I think yeah. No, I think like in the moment I was rooting for CM Punk still, because also, I was excited about him and like his little intro as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, like we said, I think I was thinking it was going to be Seth because Seth was kind of in the middle of it all somehow. Yeah. And like his favor that he was talking about. And yeah, we were right. Or I was right. I don't know. I don't remember what
Yeah,
you
you
said.
picked Seth as your winner.
Yeah.
I don't think we predicted it this way. I don't
Yeah.
know if
No,
anybody.
I knew something like this. Not this exactly. They added so much good material in it by
Mhm.
like letting you see his Paul Heyman's relationship with each of them, and how his like you believe that he is siding with CM Punk, and you're like, oh, okay, like that's where his loyalties lie, and then you're like, okay, yes, okay, it's the tribal chief. Yeah, CM Punk was using him. He has to be loyal to the tribal chief, and then it's like, whoa, and I guess I'm interested in what's going to happen next. Again, it's like, what did that favor mean? What was that favor for, or what was he owed the favor for?
Right. Yeah, I think that.
What was Seth owed that favor for?
Yeah,
That wasn't obvious.
what does Seth, do for Paul Heyman? Why would Paul Heyman want to
Yeah,
be with him? Maybe, yeah, I want to see the more context around
and
the
this is
favor.
yeah, and like you said, this is big. Like you said, like John Cena's heel turn,
Hmm.
because this is, like you said, 15 years in the making of a relationship with CM Punk
Hmm.
to double cross him.
Yeah, all those years with CM Punk, 5 years of being the Tribal Chiefs manager, and then now he goes with Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
What does this mean for CM Punk and Roman Reigns?
yeah,
And now Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman by his side. What's his next move?
yeah,
Does he continue a feud with either of those two guys?
yeah.
Or is he going to move on to, I assume that being the winner of this match, being chosen for this, he's not just going to go and, be in like the middle of the mid card.
Mm-hmm.
For a big event like this, he was already a main eventer, but maybe he has his sights on the championship now. Yeet needs a first opponent. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
Seth. He's clearly the top heel in the company now after what we saw.
Yeah, I don't know. Very
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
excited to see what that was. But overall, one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
5-star match all around if we use a star system. That's how some people rate matches. But I would say that's the best match I've seen since Punk versus McIntyre Hell in a Cell.
oh yeah, I think this was way better. Yeah,
Okay, let's talk about Sunday.
sure.
First match to kick off the show was, well, let's first talk about the actual kickoff. Stephanie McMahon in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a horrible promo. I thought she did a bad job. Her voice irritates me.
Wow, strong words.
Yeah, I'm sick of her. Stop showing her.
Why?
Bring out the wrestlers. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see Triple H.
Yeah,
Just let's have the actual wrestling. I don't like when the company brags about how well they're doing.
yeah.
They come out, they're like, we made the most money anybody's ever seen, and then they expect everybody to cheer for that. Like, you took that money from us.
Yeah.
Why would we cheer you making money?
Yeah.
Anyways, no more billionaires. Down with capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any opinion on her. She reminds me of that meme of her nose scrunch.
Oh yeah, that one.
Let me scoot right past you. That's what she looks like she's saying or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about her.
Yeah, sorry to get so political. Just kidding. Okay, let's talk about the actual opening.
Yep.
Io Sky defending her Women's World Championship against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, why was this so early in the card?
I think for the same reason as the other one. They wanted something exciting with a beloved wrestler or with multiple beloved wrestlers, the same way that they started the other one with Jey Uso.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it would have gotten more, it would have been more appreciated later in the night, but it's fine. I think if anything, it tells me that this isn't as big of a deal as it could be, you know? Like, these aren't main eventers right now. Like, Rhea is not a main eventer right now. She's
Mhm.
and we know that Io and Bianca haven't really been like top tier. What are the tier? Like, what were you saying earlier? Like mid?
Yeah, there's people say that there's main eventer,
Yeah,
upper mid carder,
yeah.
mid carder, lower mid,
Oh
low
my
card.
gosh. Yeah, that's
Well,
so
I guess
many.
like the upper mid and lower mid are kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You could take it or leave it. You could say it exists. You could say it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess main eventer, mid carder, low card.
But most of the time, or like as of recently, Rhea Ripley is like it. You
Yeah,
know,
she's a
she
main
is
eventer.
the
She's
biggest like woman wrestler.
she's pushed as the top women's wrestler.
Yeah, but she has lost again to Io.
Yeah, I think they're going with the hotter wrestler, like the one that the fans are really behind. I think the fans are really behind Rhea, but I think maybe, or at least I feel like her championship run so far, it feels like maybe Rhea is better as chasing the championship. And also, Rhea gets reactions on her own without a championship.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes to the point where, like, certain wrestlers, once they get established enough and get over enough with the fans, they're bigger than championship.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense for them to have it, or sometimes if they could elevate to a new height or do something interesting with it, it's worth it. But there are some wrestlers that they're just so popular they don't need a championship all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Rhea's at that point. Like any feud she's in, the people are going to be excited to see her.
Yeah.
They're going to root for her. She was trying to be a heel in this feud,
Yeah.
but she keeps getting cheered anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't think she needs a championship.
Okay.
I think that they open with it not because they're not main eventers, but they wanted something that would get the crowd hyped.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking at the rest of the card, and I don't really see what else would go in this spot. I think it was right to open with this. I think the card ended up being pretty good. The matches were all really good, but I don't really think anything else would fit well into that opening spot. Maybe the women's tag match could have gone there with kind of like that exciting reveal that they did, but I think it's fine there. I still think they got enough time. It's not like they cut it short or they didn't do anything interesting. All the women look strong. They all got their moves in.
Yeah.
They had some good spots in there, and I like the finish with Io retaining. I think she deserves it for longer. She's exciting. She's fun. She's the moment.
She's the moment. Yes. Yeah, I don't know what this means though. Like how her keeping the title, like what does that equal into Raw and SmackDown, you know?
I think there's more people to challenge her. I
Yeah.
think that now that Rhea doesn't have it anymore, Liv could challenge her again, maybe.
Okay.
Because it's not Liv versus Rhea doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I think that there was a new woman that returned that she could have an interesting feud with that we'll talk about later.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think Io, having just won it, it'll be a little bit of a letdown if she lost it. She also lost the championship last year at WrestleMania to Bayley.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to, Io losing the championship twice, 2 WrestleManias in a row.
Yeah.
Would kind of suck. She doesn't. People love her, and she's a great wrestler. She doesn't. She deserves a WrestleMania moment, and I like to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next match, the Sin City Street Fight, McIntyre versus Damian Priest. We were wondering what Sin City Street Fight meant,
Yeah.
and what it meant was these two dudes just beat the crap out of each other for entertainment, and had some pretty brutal spots. McIntyre's back was all fucked up. Damian Priest took a lot of hard hits too.
Yeah.
Way better opening and second match than last night. These dudes put on a show. I mean, I expected a lot from them, and they didn't disappoint at all. They got pretty brutal. They hit each other hard. Weapons. McIntyre took more crazy back bumps,
Yeah.
just like he did at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
This guy must either have the strongest back in history,
Yeah.
or he just doesn't care and wants to put in a great match. Either way, I respect it a lot.
Yeah.
McIntyre had another really funny spot, just like he did in last year's Mania, where he uploaded a selfie mid-match
Yeah.
and posted. I don't know if you saw the post.
No.
I'll show you.
Send me the post. Is it on his own Instagram?
Yeah, it's on his account, and he's
That's
like
crazy.
bored at work, and it's like a picture
What?
with him. He did the same thing last year with Seth Rollins. He fought Seth Rollins last year, and he posted bored at work.
That's crazy.
It's pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, he posted this in the middle of the match. Still bored at work.
That's crazy.
And then he gave his phone to some guy wearing a kilt that I guess is his friend.
His friend.
So that was cool. I like McIntyre winning.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great. He could be he could be competing for a championship. He could have a match with anybody, and he can make it really interesting.
Yeah.
Main eventer, mid-carder. I don't think Damian Priest is a mid-carder, but he's obviously not in the championship picture anymore. But still, this felt like a really fun match. And if they ran it back at Backlash, I would still be interested in it.
Yeah.
Anything else to add on that one?
No, I'm trying to also, again, apply it to people that don't know the lore. McIntyre is just angry at everybody. Like, he has hatred for almost everybody, and then it's like, it's your fault that he like fights them and he wins or he loses, and then he's like, okay, now it's your fault.
He has a unique ability to make any feud interesting basically on his own.
Yeah.
Like, his beef could be entirely one-sided.
Yeah.
And it could still work.
Yep.
Like his beef with CM Punk, that feud, it seems like it was supposed to be with Seth Rollins, but then Seth got hurt. That's why he missed all the time when we first started watching.
Okay.
And CM Punk was hurt too at the same time when they started that feud. And McIntyre really carried it one-sided. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with this Damian Priest feud. Priest was available, but Priest had no animosity towards him until until McIntyre manifested it by attacking him all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think this feud is over. I think this is one of the ones where this will continue a little while longer. I still think there's a little bit more there that they could do. And I don't know who else they would fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Next was the Fatal 4-Way for the IC title.
Yeah.
With Dom, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta.
Okay, so I think there was some stuff here that I missed when I saw the recap, like, intro video. Mm-hmm. I think there was some misunderstanding, or I had not been caught up entirely on the story of between the four of them. Mm-hmm. So can you walk us through that a little bit?
Sure.
We know that Dominic and Finn are a part of a group of bad guys called Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. And they were tag teamed together, right, against Penta and what's the dog guy's name?
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. It's not a dog, but there's so many Braun characters. They're all Braun something.
Yeah. He should have kept his name as a Steiner.
You know? That was his name?
Well, the real name is, I think, Rick Steiner, but his dad and his uncle were Scott and Rick Steiner.
And he's Braun Breaker.
Yeah, even though they acknowledge that, he's related to them. He's the same bloodline, but he just doesn't go by Steiner.
Well, anyway, okay, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit, like, what they've been fighting, the four of them, for like a couple of weeks now, right?
Yeah, this is one of those classic we all want the championship feuds.
Oh, okay.
It's not like the same thing as like a, like a, I don't know what you would call it, like a personal feud.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anything that deep there. They've set it up over the last few Raws where they've attacked each other, right? Mm-hmm. But this is really centered around the championship itself.
Okay.
And these are just four guys that want the championship.
Okay.
The added fold there is Dom and Finn Balor being allies, but then during this match, they turn on each other.
Yeah.
I don't know how... This has kind of been teased for a while where Finn and Dom are as a power struggle over the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Dom is trying to take more leadership. and Finn doesn't want him to. Finn just wants him to listen to him and that he knows best. And yeah, so that kind of played into the match a little bit. I don't really think this is it for the Judgment Day. I think probably with the result, I think with the result of, I don't know, I'm not saying it, but with Dom winning, I think Finn will be his first opponent, right?
Yeah.
Like, they attacked each other, Finn's going to turn on him, and I think that's how Judgment Day will implode.
Yeah.
I think it's due time. I didn't think it was going to happen with the championship involved, but this is a great catalyst for it.
Yeah.
I love Dom winning. Dom gets crazy fan reactions. He gets a lot of heat, as they say, which is just like, like fan anger. That's what he really means. But that still equals popularity, to me at least. Like, when you get negative reactions, that means people care about you.
Yeah.
And you saw the reaction when he won. Everybody was cheering. Everyone went crazy for that finish of Dom winning.
They're like, whoa, yay,
it was
Dom.
a surprise. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We picked Penta, but as the match was going on, I thought that Braun would just kind of pull off another win, kind of like how he's done so far with, like, they would be Dom and Finn would be distracted with each other, and then he would hit one of them with a spear and then win.
Yeah.
But I like the surprise finish of Dom winning. I think Braun Breaker is a little underwhelming to me so far. I think a lot of people love him. I think he's good. He's fun, but they don't give him enough chance to talk. I don't know if it's because he can't talk, but
yeah,
you need. I mean, to really build a character, you just need mic time. You can't just wrestle.
Yeah.
Even though it's wrestling, but you need to build a character.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done that so far. So I think this opens up a lot of interesting avenues for Dom.
Yeah.
Is he going to keep being like like a cowardly heel? He won this match clean.
Yeah.
Besides the Carlito interference, but he still had some good spots, some good moments.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be the momentum that they need to give him, to be a better better wrestler. Can he actually do some real stuff on his own?
Yeah. Do you know a recap of just like the kinds of belts there are to win? Do you know them off the top of your head?
All the belts?
Well, just like the belts that were up for, at least. So what belt did Dominic win today?
It was the Intercontinental.
The Intercontinental.
That's the mid-card
okay.
Of Raw. So, top title Raw is World Heavyweight Championship. So now at this point, new World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso. New Intercontinental Champion, Dom.
Okay.
And then new Women's Champion, which is the next... No, let's talk about it now. Since we're leaning into it.
Okay.
New Women's Champions tonight. This was a big surprise, an almost shocker of the night. We did kind of talk about what this could mean when Bayley was announced to be out of the match. Like, who's going to be Bayley's new partner?
Yeah.
And
Not Bayley.
Oh, yeah, who's going to be Lyra's new partner because Bayley was out.
Right.
And I was saying, they were showing some behind-the-scenes stuff with, Becky Lynch being around.
Really?
They showed her reaction to the Saturday night main event with her husband winning the match.
Her husband is Seth.
Yeah. And then they, she appeared at the Hall of Fame. And she also recently said publicly, I'm not close to coming back yet. I'm just not wrestling right now. So all those things usually mean, she's coming back soon.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Why? Because they always try to, I don't know, it's just they always try to surprise people. No, I'm not wrestling. I'm not going to be there. And then they appear.
Crazy.
So she appears, the Irish Lasses, I guess you would call them, won the tag team championships.
Irish Lasses. Yeah. Lassies. Yeah.
Yeah, they won. Is it Lassies?
I don't know.
I feel like that's a horse.
I know, lass is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it? It could be anybody.
Well, I thought a lad was a boy and a lass was a girl.
A young lass. But I've never heard the plural, so I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, me either. Anyways, enough Irish lessons.
Irish vocab.
Enough Irish vocab. Yeah, they won. They beat Liv-in Raquel. Yep. I thought Liv and Raquel did pretty good. You know,
You only think that because of their outfits.
I,
Mostly Liv's outfit.
I mean, it was a great costume. Best costume of WrestleMania so far to
Oh
me,
my God.
at least. Yeah, that wasn't like a normal wrestling singlet. She looked like she was in Baywatch.
No, she was like a dominatrix, like a devil.
I don't know. I thought it was great.
Great. Yeah, it was great.
And then I thought Raquel had a pretty good match. Like, people criticize Raquel, but I thought she did good.
Yeah, she was fine. I don't know. I kind of stopped watching her.
Yeah, so anyways, Becky and Lyra go over. Now, Lyra has 2 championships, which I thought was the main reason why I
Yeah.
didn't think that was going to happen.
Wait, did we see her holding both?
Yeah, she was holding both.
Oh. So what does she have? She has the tag team championship
She has the tag team championship, and then she has the women's intercontinental championship.
Okay, and that's mid card for women's too.
Yeah.
So what's the main event women's
It's
belt?
the one that Io has.
Oh, okay. What is it called?
I think it's so the 2 championships. I forget the difference in the names. I'm pretty sure the one that Io has is called the Women's World Championship, and then the one that Tiffy has is called the WWE Women's Championship.
What?
I call them the Raw and SmackDown championships. That's what I call them. I say the Raw Women's World Champion and the SmackDown Women's Champion.
And then Chelsea Green, they just made her an American champion. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, she's the United States
States champion. Because she's the only one that's ever had that.
She's the first, yeah. So the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship are both new championships for women.
Oh, okay.
So Lyra won that tournament
late
last year.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea won her tournament late last year.
Okay. So those are on SmackDown?
No, Lyra is on Raw too.
Oh, okay.
The Intercontinental for both is on Raw.
Okay.
U.S. Championship for both is on SmackDown.
Okay. It gets confusing when there are some characters that show up on both Raw and SmackDown, but they're technically only work for one.
Yeah, I think WrestleMania season, you see people appearing on both or either one, depending on how much time. But the championships are supposed to stay on either show.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then the last match we have to talk about before the main event is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Yep.
I think that was, to me, it was kind of like a whatever match.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad. Like, the actual wrestling wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't really care for Logan Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't care for Logan Paul. I kind of don't know why this was a WrestleMania event. Like, both of them, they weren't fighting for a belt, right? And I feel like I hadn't seen a lot of them until recently. I know AJ until very recently, like only like a month or so.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Oh, okay. So I just don't know how they pulled this together to get on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, to give both of them credit, I thought they did as good as they could, trying to build the match up. But the stakes just aren't WrestleMania worthy. No like you said, no championship. They did an okay job building it, but you don't really see, like, they don't hate each other. You know?
I don't know.
And I think it's just to get Logan Paul on WrestleMania for, like, the casual fans.
Okay.
You know, like, people that don't necessarily love wrestling, a lot of them still might know who Logan Paul is.
Okay.
They did an okay match, and Logan Paul won. So that's fine. They had, like, a screwy finish where Karrion Kross interfered, tried to help AJ.
Right.
So I guess that must mean that Karrion Kross is going to be a bigger character going forward, and probably Karrion Kross will feud with AJ. That'll be like their next thing, and Logan Paul will disappear until SummerSlam probably. All right. Let's get to the main event.
Let's get to it.
This is what everybody was waiting for. This is what we were waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh no, we missed one more match. Sorry.
Okay, quickly.
We can't diminish Randy Orton versus mystery opponents.
Ugh. Yeah. That was like a 2-second match, honestly.
It was really quick. But they didn't have much time to figure it out. You know, they didn't have much time to pull it together.
Yeah.
Because the behind-the-scene things with Kevin Owens getting hurt.
Yeah.
So they had to find an opponent.
Yeah.
Who would be exciting, make people happy, and was available and wasn't already in a WrestleMania match? Joe Hendry. So they pulled him. They pulled him in. I thought it's pretty crazy that a TNA wrestler was in WrestleMania.
Yeah. I don't know what does TNA stand for?
Total nonstop action.
Oh.
It's a wrestling company that's been around for a long time. I used to watch it when it first debuted on TV when we were kids.
Uh-huh.
And they had AJ Styles where I first saw AJ.
Okay.
He was their top guy there for a while. A lot of WWE wrestlers, when they leave, some of them go to TNA.
Where can you watch it? Is it on TV?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
It used to be on Spy TV, which I don't think exists anymore. I don't know where TNA is. At this point, I couldn't tell you how to watch it.
Okay.
But
just know it's out there as another league of wrestling that is still big enough to be televised.
Yeah, they're associated with WWE. Sometimes NXT wrestlers will appear on TNA. Sometimes TNA wrestlers pop up on NXT, and that's the partnership that they have going on.
And NXT is kind of like for the newbies.
Yeah, it's the developmental territory.
But it's still under WWE.
Yeah. Well, it's a televised show. It's on every Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So it's not like the whatever they call it, where they have that new show where it's like real newbies that aren't even on NXT yet.
Right.
It's people that they're training, and it's also experienced wrestlers from all over the world, but people that have years of experience, but they're just familiarizing them with the WWE system.
And a lot of them start on NXT.
A lot of them start. Like Nakamura was on NXT, even though he was already in his mid-30s and he wrestled in Japan for decades.
Anybody
they still put
from
him,
this WrestleMania that had been on NXT?
Tiffany was just on NXT like last year.
Oh wow!
She got called up and then kind of really made an impact. Yeah. Pretty much all the newer people, though some of the older people existed before NXT.
Mm-hmm.
They just trained when it was called something else. They used to have multiple territories to train called OVW. They had one in Ohio, OVW. They had one in Florida, and they would just train them there. But now they started putting that on TV.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So, anyways, Joe Hendry appeared. They had a quick match. It was still entertaining. I thought the finish was really funny. RKO out of nowhere still is one of the best things that'll get the crowd hyped.
So he's a meme? I've never seen his meme before.
He's like, if you're like on wrestling social media, Joe Hendry and his song will pop up. A lot of people in the audience sometimes will have like Joe Hendry signs.
Really?
They'll have like his face cut out, a lot of people. And they'll hold that as a sign.
Yeah, his little face was cute. His little like turn around and look at the camera.
Yeah, look into the camera is funny, and it went straight into an RKO, which is hilarious. I mean, obviously Joe Hendry, he's not a WWE wrestler. He's not going to beat a WWE Hall of Famer doing wrestling, but they could have had just like a shit match and given Randy some random jobber. They could have just put Carmelo Hayes.
That's what I'm saying. Carmelo has been up on every episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. I don't mean any disrespect to Carmelo. I like Carmelo. But yeah, I don't think they wanted to they could have just done that, but they went with somebody that would be, it would be a surprise.
Yeah.
Like people would be excited to see them because he's not even a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
So I like that they went for that.
Yeah. What is an RKO?
It's Randy's finisher where he jumps up and grabs you
by the neck
and falls down.
What does RKO stand for?
I believe they said it's just his initials.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, good for you, Randy. Did it again.
Okay. Now the main event. Sorry, WWE's website does not really show everything in order. I'm trying to go in order. So, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
I love the intros. Great entrances from both. John Cena really gave us nothing.
Yeah, on purpose.
In a good way.
Yeah.
It's just there was a black background with white text, John Cena.
Yep.
And he walked out. He didn't even say hi to Stu, the cameraman, like he normally does.
Oh no.
Which he hasn't been doing since he turned heel, but still. I bet Stu's feelings are hurt.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then Cody with the motorcycles.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then it's like an automatic
like an Iron Man.
helmet opening thing.
Yeah. Does he? I don't see him wear that very often.
He
or
wore
like a helmet in general.
He wore a helmet at WrestleMania, but then it wasn't like an opener. It wasn't like electronic.
Yeah.
This one was like straight from like Marvel Studios or something.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was sick. I loved it. I love Cody's entrance every time. It never gets old.
Yep.
Okay. The match itself.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this match? It was pretty slow, I think, intentionally. I think they wanted to show John, like, sort of toying around with Cody a little bit.
Yeah.
Showing him being strong, saying he's still got it, and he's not going to be an easy opponent for Cody.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think... honestly, I haven't seen John Cena wrestle very much, so I don't know any of his like signatures or what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys are huge. Or John Cena is huge.
Mm-hmm.
He is a really big guy. Like,
yeah,
the biggest shoulders and arms I've seen from like a wrestler. And the jorts.
Yeah.
How do you do all that in jorts?
I think they're special jorts.
Yeah.
I think all of his powers are in his jorts.
Yeah.
But when they announced like his weigh-in, I mean, I don't really think they do real weigh-ins, but they still announced him at 250. Which he was 250 for his entire career.
Oh, okay.
And he still looks massive. The only thing that looks different about him is that he's so white.
Yeah,
like, he used
so
to be
white.
tan.
He just looks like rubbery. It's kind of gross.
Cody called out like how white he looks on SmackDown. Like Cody had a good promo against him. I forget what he said exactly.
Ew.
But yeah, he was making fun of him.
Yeah, Well, yeah. My sisters were really interested in the weights of everybody yesterday when they were announcing everyone's weight. They're like, wait. How much does CM Punk weigh? We missed that part.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but they don't say the weights of the women.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't think they would?
I wouldn't think they would, yeah.
It just makes the entrances, it makes like the announcements sound a little short because they just say where they're from and they say their name. The men's, they don't say the women's weights.
I barely noticed when they do the men's. Like, the number means nothing to me.
It's really, because it's not a real number.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, they just have somebody's number and they just say that forever.
Okay.
Like, one time Randy Orton called it out. He was like, more like like they said, like 250. He was like, more like 280. Wow. And he's like patting his belly.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, they're not real numbers. Okay. Maybe at one point they weighed that, but anyways. They had a good match. Well, it was competent. It was good enough. I thought it was good for the story that they were telling. I didn't expect them to have the most brutal come out and have the most exciting match ever. It's really about the story with these two guys.
Yeah.
Because John Cena doesn't even really hate Cody Rhodes. He hates the fans. And it's really part of this whole thing that he wants to like cheat the fans. He wants to take something from them. He doesn't care if he's exciting. Yeah.
I know. And I don't like, why are people cheering for John Cena? He does not care about you.
I think, like, at WrestleMania, you get a lot of the smarks. Like, you get a lot of these people paying a lot of money because they love wrestling and they're traveling from all over the world. And I think they want to see John Cena. So this is the type of audience that would love John Cena. During the, like, Raws and SmackDowns where he came out and he was, like, having these promos with Cody, people were booing him, you know? Because that's, like, a regular Raw SmackDown crowd. Yeah. Versus this WrestleMania crowd that this is John Cena's last WrestleMania and they wanted to see him win. I didn't ever think for a second during this match that John Cena would not win.
Yeah.
You know?
I hoped because I don't like John Cena right now. I like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now that Cody loses the match, he can chase the championship again.
Yeah.
Cody is still like the top guy, the top merchandise guy. The kids love him. The women love him.
Yep.
And for being like a clean, clean cut baby face, he has so much more support from the adult men than John Cena ever had.
Really?
Adult men, like smart wrestling fans, used to hate John Cena. It
Really?
was just like kids and women that liked him. But Cody has support from all the fan bases.
Yeah.
Now the smart wrestling fans just like John Cena because, as John Cena says, they're fickle and they don't even know what they like. They booed him all this time. But now that he's leaving, now they love him.
Yeah.
Because they're like, actually, he was my childhood.
Yeah.
Well, then why did you hate him this whole time then?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, John Cena's right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the finish of the match, though, was a little weird. I expected some kind of, once the ref went down, I was like, okay, interference, here it comes. He's going to cheat. The Rock's going to come out.
First, I like when the referee gets knocked out by one, like,
it's
misstep.
Just a push.
Yeah.
The referees are weaker than normal humans, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, if it was me or you, we wouldn't just be like knocked out for 10 minutes if we just got simply pushed against the turnbuckle. Like, why do they have such low HP?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so ref gets knocked out, and then John Cena exposes the turnbuckle, slams Cody against it twice, and that's not enough to finish Cody off.
Yeah.
So then Travis Scott comes out for some reason.
Yeah.
When the music hit, I was like, okay, here comes The Rock. And you're like, it's Travis Scott. And I was like, Travis Scott's not going to come out by himself. Yeah. He's coming out with The Rock. And
no Rock to be seen.
DJ never showed up. Just Travis Scott just did a really slow walk to the ring. Like, it took way too long.
Yeah. And
then he yanks the ref by his foot and pulls him out of the ring.
Yeah. Is he a wrestler? is Travis Scott a wrestler now?
I mean, I don't know. Logan Paul is a wrestler. Travis Scott is a character in the WWE universe. He's established at this point.
Yeah.
He's made 3 appearances this year.
Yeah.
He played during the Monday night, the opening Raw on Netflix. He came out with Jey Uso.
Right.
And then he appeared at Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
And he hit a wrestler in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
And then tonight at WrestleMania, he got attacked. He interfered in a match and got attacked in the middle of the ring. He's a character in the WWE universe now.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand, like, how he's so skinny, too. Like, it's like he can't be a wrestler. And what is, like, the intimidation of him coming in, like, supposed to mean? Like, I get it how it's supposed to, if it does lead to The Rock coming out, then yeah, like, oh shoot, here comes Travis Scott. The Rock was gonna be out any second. Yeah, that makes sense. Travis Scott coming in just to mess with things is weak to me. Like, I don't like it.
Well, okay, so let's go over the final of what happened.
Yeah.
So Travis Scott pulls the ref out, causes Cody, interrupts Cody's pin. Then Cody challenges to come into the ring. He tries to attack Cody. Cody crossroads him. Travis is knocked out, but that leads to distraction. Wait, no. I'm getting it mixed up. So Cody has the belt. And how does he get the belt? He takes it. John Cena's going to hit him with it, and then he counters it.
Right.
So John Cena is waiting after he attacks Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And then he's going to hit Cody with the belt. Cody snatches it from him, and he's going to hit him. John Cena says, no, please don't do this. Don't hit me. Cody is torn because he doesn't want to be a bad guy, right?
Which I don't understand why getting hit with the belt is so...
Getting hit with a belt is like getting hit with a car. It's so strong for some reason.
What? Okay, we have a little, like, child belt. And it's literally made out of plastic, but it looks exactly the same. And I don't know why it would be so painful.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that's, like, canonical. So, like, a low blow, even, like, the low blow where it's, like, an uppercut, is super strong, and then hitting somebody in the face with a belt is super strong.
That's crazy.
So those are just two things you have to accept.
All right.
So anyways,
So John Cena's like, please, 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 please. Why would you fall for that, Cody?
Cody's just trying to be too clean cut, too good of a guy. So he doesn't want to hit him with the belt because that's like a heel tactic, right?
Yeah.
So he wants to be a good guy. He doesn't hit John with the belt,
Yeah.
which leaves John time to low blow him,
Mm-hmm.
and then hit him with the belt himself. Pin him 1, 2, 3. New champion. John Cena breaks Ric Flair's record. He's officially a 17-time world champion. Between the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, he's won the top championship 17 times.
Nice.
He deserves it over Ric Flair. Ric Flair is a controversial figure.
Right.
John Cena is a much better person to reference in the history books as the #1 champion, most winningest champion ever.
Oh.
But I'm happy with the result. Felt a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, definitely.
Where is Dwayne?
Yeah.
Why wasn't he the one in the finish instead of Travis Scott? I don't know what they're cooking.
Maybe, Travis Scott had to get knocked out in some way. Maybe to give, because there's no way that putting Cody Rhodes up against The Rock wouldn't be way bigger than this, like The Rock coming out to stop stuff would have been a bigger deal,
Yeah.
Travis Scott coming out to quote unquote help out is more flying under the radar and it gave Cody the opportunity to look stronger, maybe to like actually beat somebody up, and to have some like revenge from when Travis Scott beat him up first.
Yeah, I think that was. Before the match ended.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was. Like, it's just like a get back. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about like, oh, Travis, he went too far. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that guy. He shouldn't have hit. He injured Cody. Cody needs to get his receipts. He needs to get his revenge.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what that moment was, and then something else would happen afterwards.
Yeah.
To cause the actual finish.
Right.
John Cena closing the show, raising his hand with Travis Scott in the ring together. Something about it felt a little off. It just didn't really feel right. I understand that maybe like subverting expectations and John Cena not giving people what they want is part of it. But for John Cena's last WrestleMania moment, I wish it wasn't him with Travis Scott in the ring.
Yeah.
And if Travis Scott was going to be there, which is fine, just like an Elimination Chamber, The Rock should have also been there.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that.
But this isn't the end of this story.
Yeah.
John Cena and Cody will fight again, and maybe that's what they're saving. Another big reveal for The Rock. Maybe somebody else joins with them.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know the end of the story, so I'm willing to just be happy with this result.
Yeah.
And then see where it goes.
Yeah, I think I was also expecting, because the fight yesterday with Seth and CM Punk and Roman Reigns,
like one more twist
was so good. Yeah, I was expecting more out of this one. I was like, okay, if that was good, this one between Cody Rhodes and John Cena should be even bigger, right? And it was a little like, I don't know. I think I'm still hung up on. I can't picture the belt being such damage, but yeah, I think that just takes me out of it. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you're right. It'll move on, and this won't be the last time. And I think it's setting up they advertised like 4 more pay-per-views. So WrestleMania next year will be in New Orleans.
That's
Did
what
you
they
see
said?
that? Yeah. That was one of the a million commercials that I got on my parents' Peacock. Was
Okay,
that
so
one.
WrestleMania next year. Well, John Cena won't be part of that one. He
Right.
already said that the end of this year is this year. Well, I think so. Backlash is already less than a month away.
Crazy.
I don't know if John Cena will defend the championship there, but then we also have Money in the Bank
Yeah.
in 2 months, and then we have SummerSlam, the next big one, and I think in August. So yeah, this isn't the end of this feud.
Yeah.
So I'm still excited that Cena is the champion.
Mm.
And Cody had a great first reign. It was over a year.
Yep.
Defended it well, great matches. And I'm excited for this new chapter. I think he will be getting it back, though.
Yeah.
And not very long.
Yeah. But like we said, I think in order for John Cena to stick around, he needs to
Mm-hmm.
be. He needs to have a belt.
There's still something left in this story.
Yeah.
He needed to win this to get the most out of this story.
Yeah.
And I don't think this was even the best part of it.
Yeah.
I think this is setting up the next chapter, which I think will have an even greater peak.
Yep. Nice.
Okay, well, that was WrestleMania 41.
Yep. Crazy.
Crazy, great
Yep.
show. I'm happy to have experienced watching this with you.
Yeah, me too. We'll get back to regularly scheduled programming
Yeah.
with Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, we'll start talking about Raw and SmackDown. We'll do a show, we're thinking once a week, talking about what's going on in Raw and SmackDown.
Yep.
And they won't always be as long as this episode.
Yeah.
This is WrestleMania. This is the biggest show.
Yeah.
So anyways, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, we're excited to see where this podcast journey takes us.
Yeah.
And excited for more wrestling. So we will see y'all soon.
Yeah.
Next
Thanks.
time with video, I think.
Yes, we will get back on the video.
Okay. Well, later, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Punch It podcast.
Punch it.
Hell yeah, I was hoping you'd say that.
Punch it.